We're not where we said we were going to be, but we're back. We had mentioned last week that we were going to be at the train show in West Bend, Wisconsin, and this was one heck of a week, and we were just too tired to make it there. So we just we didn't go. We just opted for staying home and resting a little bit yesterday, and today doing this. We'd catch you up on a lot that had happened this past week. We've had some really good things get accomplished here on the layout, and we'll show you all that here pretty soon. But you're going to hear a little bit of an echo because, well, I'm hoping maybe you don't, but I can really hear an echo in here now because we took a lot of stuff out of this room. So it was shelving and bunch of boxes and everything that was keeping the noise level down. So now it sounds louder to me. So maybe it'll be better for the mic. I don't know. But anyway, we've had some really good views this past week on our videos. And I want to thank everybody for doing that and checking in. And then please do keep checking in on our video section, our longer video section, because we've added a bunch of really good stuff there. And those are the videos that really count and help for us. We've really come close to our hour count that we needed to be. Hopefully this week we will hit it. So that being said, again, thank you for all of that. And reason I brought that up is because one of the videos we had about a week and a half ago was about the Menards sales that they had going on over at all their stores. I don't know if you've never heard of Menards. It's a home improvement place like Home Depot and Lowe's. And a lot of people took advantage of that and our notice on it. And they didn't know that they carried O-scale products, HO and O-scale products, really great buildings and stuff. And we had some people actually go and take advantage of really good prices. And one of the guys was so pleased that he contacted us earlier in the week and just couldn't believe it. He bought us something special there. He knew I was really into Santa Fe. And so he really wanted to send something to us and as a surprise, and we hooked that up and got it taken care of, and I'll show you what he sent. It's really neat. So you know who you are, and he wanted to stay kind of anonymous on the channel. So I'm not going to say who that person was. I never will on anybody that sends us anything unless you don't mind, in which case we'll give credit on that. But he asked to just not be. So, but you know who you are, and thank you. If you're not with us live, you see the video because I told him we were going to put it in the video for the live stream today. So if you see this, thank you very much. That was just so unexpected, and it was really neat. So anyway, we had a lot of stuff get completed on the construction end of the lower area for the HO. I'll show you that here in just a second. And I dug out a few more things. I talked about them last live stream about some more custom things that I've done that you're going to start to see. And I did a whole bunch of work over here, which we're going to show you. I tore a bunch of stuff down and got it all out of here. I got my, as you can see right here, after the live stream, you can probably still see it. I'll hold it up anyway, but you can see the foundation is now back for the station, and the station is fixed. It didn't take too much to have to do. It just ticked me off that I actually had that happen, that I was that stupid to actually have to do that. But it is fixed and it is done. And I'll show you the repaired station in a little bit. Well, hello. A couple of you have said hi, so I'm glad you're here. Hope you enjoy the update on this. You haven't missed anything yet. We're just getting started. So, all right. So I think what we'll do, let you know real quick. Because we canceled going to the show yesterday, we decided not to go to the show today. I canceled on. I forgot to plug my phone in last night and charge it. So I'm kind of limited on moving it around a little bit, but I'll see what I can do as far as that goes, because I need to leave it plugged in so we don't lose you guys. So so bear with me if I'm having to move a little slower, moving the camera around, just to make sure I don't unplug things as we go. Now we'll do that again. Our next show that we're going to go to, and we are going to go to it, and we are going to be live at it, is going to be TrainFest. A lot of you know what TrainFest is. I'm sure you've probably heard about it. It's one of the probably top 2 or 3 train shows in the country. All the major manufacturers come out. We're going to go talk to them, see their new products that they've got coming up. They're starting to give sneak peeks on for 2026. That's all there. Every major manufacturer is there. So we're going to go do some interviews. We have just live interviews. We'll also have recorded interviews. We don't have the time to do it during the live. So you're going to see a lot of new products that are coming out. So that'll be worth checking in with us next weekend, and not next weekend, it'd be the 1st, 2nd of November. Right, yeah, 1st, 2nd November. So that weekend for the live streams, and then the following week will be a lot of the videos that will be pouring in from that show. So we've got that coming. So that we are going to that for sure. We're actually going to go stay in Milwaukee overnight so we can do both days. So that's already on the schedule. They had a really great price for the entire weekend. It was $20 per person. That got you in both days. That's really good. So anyway, so that will be our big live, but we will have more lives between now and then to catch up on everything that we have building here, because I've now kind of got a lot of stuff settled with the build. And I'm going to be able to go back to working on buildings, so we'll be doing a lot more on the city here in the next week. We're going to be starting the big building prints and builds, and I'll be starting the HO builds down below. So that'll all be coming. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm going to pick this up, but I'm going to kind of show you where we're at on all of this, and then we'll start showing the new stuff that I thought I would highlight today. Okay, so here we go. Again, I'm just going to kind of go slow because of the cord. I'm going to have to carry both with me as we go. Get this kind of in a spot here where I can. All right. Like I said, this is now fixed, and it's back in place. I still have yet to fix the car. And as we covered last week, we're starting to get the rest of the buildings in right here and here. And next live feed, we should have this 3-story right here. Most of the major new things that have happened are right over here. As you can see, this is where we ended on our last live stream, was right here. The bench work only came to here. The bench work now goes all the way to the end, well, almost all the way to the end. I've left this little bit right here so that I can use this as a way to anchor onto the piece that has to go back behind here. So this week I'm going to put the 1 foot comes out from the wall right here behind the work table, and get over to here to where I can get my curve over. So we're almost done. Almost done with all this bench work. Got my track ready to go, everything on that. So that brings us then to what happened over here on this wall. As you can see, this shelf that's been this nightmare and this just pigsty that was over here, it's now gone. 2 of the shelves actually wound up going underneath here, which is where I have all my custom painted cars and engines and stuff that I've done, and graffiti and all that. It's all here. All of these things will be back over here. This week I'm starting the build. I'm going to be building my foundation right here for the shelf. It's going to run this entire length of this wall. This is over 6 foot. It's about 7 foot. So it's going to, foundation is going to come up to about this high right here off the ground. And it's going to come out about maybe 8 inches, 9 inches. And I'll have a few shelves under here. And then the open shelving will be all the way up to, I'm going to say about right about in here. This should allow me to put about 10 shelves in right here, running this full length. And all my cars that I've done, all the custom stuff, is all going to be up on here. And you'll be seeing this quite frequently, because when we do our live runs that we're going to do, I'm going to bring the camera over and I'm going to let you guys pick whatever you want to see running. So you'll be able just to choose right off of this wall right here. And over here was where the rest of the shelf went. And you can see all the rest of the stuff that's being stored here. I'm going to clean this up a little bit more. I got to figure out what to do right here, because the track's going to have to come out and clear around the desk right here before it shoots across and hooks up right over here. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this just yet, but I'll get it worked out. It's no big deal. Oh, well, hello. Somebody else had said hi. I'm glad you're here. Okay, as you can see right here is the repaired station after that disaster from a week and a half ago. It's all squared up. I knew it wasn't going to be that big a deal. I do have a few areas I'm going to have to putty, though, because it broke. The seams that the glue were in were stronger than the original plastic. And the original plastic broke before the seam broke. So, like I said, that glue is fantastic. But it does make it to where I have to, you can see right here, there's a couple little spots where it came out. I'm going to have to do some puttying and doing some repair work. But that's a small price to pay to have that where it was in pieces. So that's okay. I can deal with that. All right. So I thought I'd bring this over and show you some of the new stuff that has been brought into the layout. First off, it's not so new. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, it's new for you guys seeing it. Hang on here. I'm having a hard time with this cord. There we go. Okay. Here was one of my custom things I did. This was about a year ago. This is a B-25. What I've done is I've created a custom flat, double flat car custom load for this airplane. The theory behind the build on this was I wanted a museum piece where this was something that was heading off to a museum to be restored, or a private person, for a private build, for something like that. So we have the fuselage here. We got the props on this one back here. We've got the two wings. These are all custom made racks for everything. We've got the two engines, and we've got the two tail sections with the supports. So I really worked. Let me see if I can get a little brighter here. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Let me see if I can just get that toned down just a little bit. You can see like all the rust that I put on it and made it really dirty. And so I kind of matched the car, made sure it looked a little dirtier and stuff, even though it's not like they were ever together forever, but just tried to make everything look even on this. So that one, that's going to be something you're going to see actually running on the layout here fairly soon, probably within the next couple of weeks. Is going to test out some of our curves and our radiuses on this to see how we're doing as far as longer cars go. So now this, oh, well, thank you. Somebody said it was a good build. They liked it. So thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. This was a really fun project. Let me show you something. I'll kick the light around. Here's going to be the second flat car that I'm going to be doing. This is my cord I'm having to drag with me right now. Here is an A10 Warthog. Now, theory behind this was they just kind of got it just recently from the military to be in the museum. So I've painted it. This has been all assembled and painted. I've done all of the work inside the cockpit. All the dials and gauges and everything are all painted up and done. I've put all the decals on. This has all been painted here with the correct decals in placement. And I'll have to build the racks for these. You can see the engines here, all the custom painting done on the inside right there. And of course, on the tail sections themselves. So I'll have to create a rack system like I did on the B-25 for this. So it's probably going to take two flat cars as well, because the engine, the wings right here will have to have this, and this will probably be, and at least one set of these will be on one flat car, and then whatever's left over, and this on the first flat car. And I'll do it just the same. Now I have noticed, and I noticed this was a problem before when I've done flat cars, and I'll show you here. After a while, and I've had this put together for a little bit, start to get a bit of a bow right here, right in the middle. And that's just because of the length of the car and being plastic. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to redo this car, and I'm going to redo that car. And the two cars for the A10, I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm probably actually going to just get probably metal tubing that's not flexible, or maybe even like a little small metal I-beam, and run it across the bottom of this so it stays stiff and it doesn't have any chance of doing this bowing over some time. So I'll have to redo this, and so I want them to look right, especially since I took so much time on the planes themselves. And I think that'll look really cool running around down here on the layout, coming through the town, and I think that'll be pretty fun. Sorry, I'm having a hard time right now with the extension. There we go. Okay, so that's, oh, yes, this was, let me get the light flicked around here a little bit. I just got this in this week. This is, right here, is an F-59 PHI AMD, AMT rather, sorry, for passenger train that runs in Canada. I just really like the paint job of it, so I'm just going to say when I'm running it that it's just, I don't know, they either got lost or they're being transported to Canada. The car set is right there. I've got 4 cars, which includes the cab control car and 3 coach cars. So this is, I got this real cheap. I think I only paid $30 for it. It actually came out of Canada, and it was $10 shipping out of Canada. So it was $40, but that was Canadian. So I actually only paid like $29 for it with shipping. So it had some issues with it when it came in. It didn't have its original box, so motor came loose. Had to put the motor back in. The wheels were absolutely filthy. So, and he told me it had a lot of use. So I actually had to use the engine cradle, turn it upside down, use sandpaper, and get the wheels really clean. Let's see here if I can show you. Yeah. Somebody had just mentioned about the same problems with those long kits. So yeah, the long ones. So yeah, they are a problem. So I'm going to see if I can work my way around that. But you can see how shiny these wheels are now. They were not like that. They were just completely covered. Well, anyway, it's been tested. Works beautifully. Good low speed. Hardly any noise to it. So this is the kind of stuff I want to run down here. I will have my 6-axle engines, but I'm for the most part going to have to run 4-axle and shorter cars just because of the length I'm dealing with right here. Coming around the corner and then trying to get across. I run big stuff. I'm going to only be able to run short length trains. And I want to run longer lengths, so the way to accomplish that and have a good look is to run shorter cars. Okay, so this is new. Like I said, this is new. Oh, this right here. We made a video about this. I don't know if some of you saw it or not. This right, let me grab this. Put this right here. You get a better look at it. This is really pretty neat. Yeah, okay, how about that for focus? Somebody said it looked a little out of focus. We should be pretty good. I was shooting into a dark area, which doesn't have anything really to grab onto. Plus, when I point, it focuses on my hand versus the back stuff. So now you should be able to see the engine real quick. All right, I'm going to have the tech department come and take a look and hello everyone and see what.
Let's see if. Yeah, should be.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
Should be
I know it went out of focus when I had my hand in it.
Yeah.
The thing in the back went. You couldn't see the thing in the back. You were just looking at my hand. So I won't do that as much. Okay, so I think there was another comment you might want to check and see. Okay, this was sent to us this week. This is really cool. I love Santa Fe. So the Santa Fe Railroad, that I grew up in the Southwest, so I've always loved this logo, the Super Chief logo right here. So I'll get my hand out of the way so we'll focus in on that. I'm trying to get rid of this. There we go. I'm trying to get rid of the reflection. Maybe I'll tip this back a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we did a video not too long ago that we have up on both long and shorts of the sales that was going on at Menards. And this was a guy that watched the video, didn't know they were selling these kind of things. Tons of great buildings. They had some cars. So he went and he bought a whole bunch of stuff. He was so tickled he bought this as a gift. And he contacted us earlier in the week and said, how can I get something to you as a thank you for showing that video and where to go get that stuff. So we got it all squared away, and this showed up in the mail on Friday. And this is just cool. We didn't have this here at our Menards, but I know it's a Menards because I can tell by the packaging and everything. So this was something that's really neat. So it was a fantasy paint scheme on an ACF hopper, and I just really like the way that looks. So I may have to go looking around and see if I can find maybe one or two more, and then just change the road number on them so that I could have a little consist of it. I only have some like snap track sections of O-scale to be able to throw a loop together for right now. So I may later have a loop up around the ceiling to where I could just have some stuff running, and this will be a really cool thing to have. So I'm looking forward to getting into it, and we'll do an unboxing of this probably in about a week or so when we take it out and look at the quality of it and everything, but I'm sure it's going to be fine. So put this back here. There we go. So that came in.
People are saying it's still really blurry.
Still really blurry because I'm all right because I'm seeing it on mine as being fairly in focus.
Yeah, it looks good here.
Yeah, on my screen I'm looking okay, but that doesn't mean anything.
There may be a pause here very shortly. I'm going to try disconnecting the Wi-Fi and reconnecting.
So hang on a second, people. We'll be right back. Are we back?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try not to get my hand in there. I think it's still just my hand is the issue.
It's something with the connection.
Okay. Well, we apologize if there is issues with focus on my screen here. Everything looks really nice and sharp, so there must be something in translation. And that could be either with it going live through YouTube or whatever, or with our connection here, but it looks pretty good here. Okay, so some people have asked about my art background. I've had some questions about it. Each week I'm going to put something different up. There's one of my pieces right there. The original was done in colored pencil, and it's Kansas City Southern. As you can tell, it's got the, I think that was called the Southern Belle paint job, and then there's the gray ghost behind it. And with the Kansas City downtown skyline there. And like I said, that was all colored pencil, just tiny bit of ink. Now that's a print. I've got the originals all framed. This is just in a shrink wrap type of a thing. But I'll start putting some up, so if some of you want to see what some of the stuff looks like, that's what it is. Okay, so this is, and as you can see from last week, we got the rest of the silos. For the, that was with cutting the legs down on the last two sets of shelves. So those will be that's almost going to be the spacing I'm going to have on them with all the pipe work above. Coming from the main tower or towers. I haven't decided yet, so I can have my tunnels go through the rocks in the back with my bridging over the top for the sidings. So that is about how that's going to look. So if you step back a little bit right here, you can see, I'll get back to the city here, and kind of see how that's going to look as the trains kind of progress through the layout here. You're getting with the station right here, that I was talking about, and then heading out that way. Now, in case you missed it last time, down below here on the HO side, there's not a lot of room here to do big industries or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I think we're going to do what we're doing up here on the left-hand side on the N scale. I'm going to do mostly city, have most of the city running with street running, actual, the embedded track for street running right through here with maybe a few industry sidings. Can't do a whole lot, but I'm going to pack a lot of detail into this area right here. And in fact, by the time we go live again, there's probably going to be the first couple of buildings that'll already be sitting here. I'm going to stagger them going backwards to get a real sense of depth. And the structures up close will be HO, mid structures will be N, and back structures will be T, so that you'll have the difference in the size of the windows, so it'll look like the city's just trailing all the way back into the distance. So that's what we're going to be doing right through this whole area right here. I'm going to have some shops right here because I'd like to keep some of my engines out that, the ones we featured last week, those B units and things like that, the custom jobs. Be nice to be able to have those on display. All right, so what I'm going to do, so I'm not just moving this around, and maybe if I just put this back where we had it originally, that it can focus in, and we'll just talk that way. Maybe that'll just make things a little easier so things can kind of stay in focus. Okay, so what's coming? What is coming next with the layout? It changes day to day what I'm going to work on. I wanted to be a lot farther along on some things than I am at this point because, that squirrel, from up, the dog and the squirrel. I get distracted pretty easily. So I'm going to try to stay a little more focused in on completing projects up because, like I said, there was this big tall building over here that should have been painted by now. And for the most part, having all the window shades in place, and this over here took that time away from it, doing the bench work and everything, and working on that engine and repairing what had been broken on this stuff. So I'm going to try to get myself focused back in on what I need to get done, so you guys can actually start to see a lot of progression with this as we're going. I mean, you can really start to kind of see here how this has begun, but I don't want this just to sit here like this forever. So I will hopefully have, I'll get this all smoothed down. This was just rough cut with a saw so that I could get the legs for the shelves to be the right height down below. So I'll get all this leveled, and I'm going to take and drill holes between each top and bottom, and I'll put a bolt through with a nut and washer on it to lock them all together, and a little bit of super glue so that we don't have any gapping and everything stays nice and straight. And then I'll create I'll flip it over onto some styrene, and I'll trace the pattern, and I'll cut that out for the top. And then I'll start, we're going to custom make the elevator part over here. so that you can see the elevator will actually come all the way from about right here all the way through to about right there. So this should be pretty easy to get this done. I've been tossing around the idea. I can't decide whether I want to paint it white or gray. I don't know. The gray would be simulating the concrete, and the white obviously be simulating the painted elevators. I've got a couple of ideas for techniques, and I'm going to try them out. If you've ever looked at the gray concrete elevators, it's really cool. You get this banding that goes around them, where it's the pour, the different, I don't know if it's like they didn't mix it the same. I don't know what causes the banding look on concrete elevators. I'm not a concrete specialist, so I don't know what that is, but you get all of this kind of striping that goes down the sides of it. Some areas will be done at all, and then you'll have like, you know, a series of discolored, wider, thinner bands and striping. So that's the effect I kind of want to get on that to make it look really real. So I'm thinking about using, I'm seeing, you know, those little foam paint brushes that have like gaps and things, where you cut gaps easily. They're the wide, you can get up to like an inch wide, 2 inch wide. So I'll get like an inch wide and I'll cut little gaps. And I may try taking that, and I may put this, I'm thinking about creating a little, like a turntable sideways, almost like a woodworker uses for using the dowels and things like that, the turning of those. Get something like that I could put a small motor on the end. I've got all kinds of little motors around here that I can get a nice slow speed on it to where I can make it just rotate and then just hold that brush on it and see if I can get the streaking to go all the way around nice and evenly, and then move that down each one of those. Now that's going to be a process, but if the effect comes out the way I hope it's going to come out, it's going to be well worth the effort. So I'm thinking about, I've been playing around with that idea for a little bit. If anybody else has done that, where they've done the banding and they found an easy way on that, I would sure appreciate some tips on that. But if not, that's probably what I'm going to go with. And the reason well, I'll either do a hand crank or a motor. A motor, I was thinking I could just set it on a slow speed, but then a hand crank, I could really work it as perfectly. So it may just be something simple as a hand crank. But that's going to be coming up pretty fast. Get that done. So at least, and this back area back here, this will be the tunnel area. This will be a tunnel area, and I'll get this all done just like the this front wall is done right here. Will be that back wall. Right now it's just the painted base gray. And if you watched our videos on how we did this, I have to do that back there. So I'll get that glued together and get the platform made. So that's about a week's worth of work back there to do the that back section, but that's I can knock that out pretty fast.
Chase's Railway says hello.
Hello, somebody said hi. Good to see you. So we will get to that here pretty soon. As you can see, I was supposed to have that rest of that elevated track painted blue by now and finished up, and it just, this down here just killed the time. What time I had to do it in between filling orders for the buildings that we had from people ordering those to doing this. I'm lucky I've got done what I've gotten done. So, but it is really starting to take shape, and I feel so much better about it now. It just seemed like a mountain of work trying to get this room set up. Oh yeah, in addition to doing all this, I want to get the display case done so I can get all my stuff safe and up off the floors and these shelves. So that's going to be a priority too. They're all priorities. But yeah, so I don't think there's anything new over here. No, we haven't got anything new over here. So this was really, each week I am going to pull out some new weathered projects that I've done. I've got a really neat set, I think it's 5 or 6 roundhouse 5-bay rapid discharge hoppers. They were Santa Fe's that had been patched. You don't see the Santa Fe anymore. And they were weathered. And then I changed the reporting marks to TILX, the leasing company. And that came out really good. I've got a beautiful set of numbers. I don't have sequential. I've just got a nice set of numbers. 2 of which I think have graffiti on them, and then either 3 or 4 are just plain weathered. So I'll show you those next time we get together on that. So that'll be coming. Plus, I'll try to get this A10 wrapped up too. Well, that's all the projects. Uh, that's all right, I'll get there. But this, I think, I really want to play with that. I'm probably going to start messing with that. I got to figure out how to make a jig up to where I can spin those. So yeah, I'll see what I can do on that. I'll get the first couple done. If it does, then I may actually have a video. I may put a video together showing how I made the machine that I put them on and how I turned it and made it work. So in case you want to do something that should be fine for any scale that you work in. It can be, it just happens to be on N scale for us, but you can much taller right here. In comparison, all you'd have to do is probably make the base of the turntable thing a little bit wider. So I'll work that out this week. So anyway, that's where we're progressing to. It's been a busy but a good week. Getting the foam in here, I I didn't get myself 2 foot right here when I did this, and so I had to cut the pink foam in half lengthwise to get it to bend to come in. It's just been all kinds of little things like that that have added up to killing the time of the week. But I have put, which is nice, I got all those little furniture mover pads that you can put on things for heavy things. All of my shelves down below are on those furniture movers, so that when it comes time for me to start working on the electronics underneath, I can just slide the shelves out. You don't have to drag them, I have to have things falling off everywhere. So I can just slide those out from underneath the bench work, and I can just lay down upside down and sit there and work on the stuff and then push everything back in place. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible to work on, because I have found that almost being 60, it's just slowing down a little bit on things. A lot of the work on this house, I don't have the stamina I used to, and can't get into the little nooks and crannies like I used to, so I'm trying to get it to where I can just work on things. So
STV says, take care, have a good evening. And Closet Branch asks if you have a plan for backdrops.
okay, well, somebody said they were leaving. Have a good evening. I hope you do too. And the other is about backdrop installation. Yes, we do have backdrops. Right now, I currently have, I think they're made by Walthers. I can't remember what the name was. They stand 2 foot tall, about 2 foot tall, and I think they're 6 foot long. And they had a series that went all the way from the mountains to the plains to cities to like Wharf and all that kind of stuff. I've got some downstairs that came out of my dad's collection that I've got sitting on them to try to get them to uncurl. And what I'm hoping to do tonight and use probably like 3M spray, 3M adhesive spray, and I've done a lot of work with rolling out things of my artwork and stuff over the years with like self-stick foam core and things like that, where you had to go real slow to make sure you didn't get bubbles and things. So it'll be a bit of a process, but I'll get it smooth, but there's no bubbles, and I'll see how that looks. Now, if I don't like how that looks, if it doesn't give me a real enough look to it, I saw a guy, I think it was on Facebook. He was on one of the HO groups. He actually, really reasonable price. If I can find the info on that again, if that's the way I go, I'll post it so you guys can take a look. It seemed like it was really reasonable, but it was actual photos. I think what it was AI generated to where it looks like art, but it's more towards the photo side. And it seemed like they had hundreds of different scenes you could do, and it was all long and thin. It was like 2 foot tall by about 6 foot, and you could seam it together, pieces together to get as long as you wanted with, different scenes coming. So if I don't like the look of what I'm rolling out downstairs after I get it put together, I set it back behind the stuff, then I'll probably go with that. Because I would like to have something against the city wall here and against this city wall back here that has more city to it. And the only bad thing about the one that came from Walthers is their city one is not the best. It really looks cartoonish. And my focus, as you can tell by the kind of stuff I do, I really go for realism as much as I possibly can. And I don't want to put all this work into this and then have something that looks like somebody painted a cartoon on the wall. So I'll play around with one and I'll see what it looks like. And if I don't like that, then I'll look up that other source. And if I find it and if I get it in here and I like what it looks like, I'll let you guys know about it. So it didn't seem like it was much. It seemed like it was really, really between like $20 and $30 for a sheet. Seemed like it was. I could be really off on that. I don't know. So don't quote me on that. But it just seems like that's what sticks in my head after seeing that guy's ad and write up about it. But I'll supply that information on our channel.
Also, how do you treat
Window areas with backdrops. Oh, you mean a window in the wall? Okay, that's masonite. Somebody asked how I treat window areas with backdrops. So this window right back here. What I'll be doing with that is I'll be using the masonite that I'll get from Menards here in town. Probably 1/8 inch or a little bit bigger, so it can stand on its own. And then I will use the 3M spray, get that all nice and smooth so there's no bumps or bubbling or anything. And then I'll smooth it on that, and then I'll put it right in front of the window. That'll block all the light. It'll give it the stiffness that it needs, because I'll have another window over here on this side that I've got to do the same thing. And that'll have to have a mountain scene, because that's my mountains that are going to be over here. This right here would be more lead into mountains and prairie scene. So that's how I plan on dealing with the windows on that, is to just simply on the masonite, because it's flexible to where if I've got to move it a little bit or whatever I need to, I can, and to actually hold it to the wall, because obviously after it's treated, I may leave a little bit, maybe about a 1/2 inch strip at the top that I don't have the backdrop go up to, and I can put a screw in up there and then just paint it. What I'll do is I know one thing I was going to do, because this area right here, this wall right here, it's probably 3 foot tall, and most of the backdrops I've seen are 2 foot. So what I'm going to do is take whatever I use for backdrops, whatever I finally settle on for a backdrop, I'm going to take and cut a little piece out of the corner or somewhere on there where it won't be noticeable, that is the most deep blue that there is at the top of the image. And I'll take it over and I'll have it color matched at the paint store. Well, our paint store is Menards, their paint department. They are fantastic at color matching. So I'll get a blue that matches the topmost blue that there is. And so for example here, see 2 foot's only going to come up to not even to the height of this right here. And I'm going to have this all open for buildings and things like that. So I'm going to have to do something with this upper area right here. So that's what I'll use that for. I'll get that color matched, and then I'll paint the blue on the wall before I put the backdrop in place. So going back to having this over here in front of the window, I can make that a little bit taller, and I can paint the blue to match the height of the other, and I can hide the screws that way that I mount it to the window with. Because I'll just put a little bit of joint compound over the top of the screw head, sand it smooth so you can't even tell it's there, and then when I paint the blue to continue the height of it, you'll never see where the screw was that mounts it to the window. And that's what I'm going to do all around here. So I'll do the paint matching, and we'll just continue the blue on up. So what I may actually do, because these walls have such a texture to them, this house is 130 years old, and this is old plaster and lath that's on most of these walls. So there's a lot of texture. And I've been sitting here looking at this, and I've been thinking, well, my sky's going to have texture. So what I may wind up doing is buying like 4 foot sheets of the masonite, getting the height I need, cutting into the height I need as far as I want to go with it, and then gluing on the lower part the backdrop that I'm using, and then just painting the top of it that blue. And then I can mount the whole thing up so that everything will be smooth. You won't see any of these bumps that you see up here. This shelf's going to be gone, so for example, these brackets will be gone, and this will just be a nice big open sky up here. And I can take my art that I know how to do, and I can add some clouds to it up in the sky just to break it up from just being solid blue. So that's what I think I'm going to do for the backdrops. It doesn't just apply to the windows, it applies to the whole room. Simple process. I think the 4x8 sheets of masonite run around $10, $12. I'll probably have to have about 3 of those. Yeah, probably about 3 of those cut to about a 3 foot height, and then blue, stick over the top, we're done. So now there will be a line. You'll be able to, if I get it glued well enough, you won't see it. But there will be where the, I know somebody thinking, okay, where you're gonna have that sitting on top, you're gonna see a line. Well, with the light coming down from an upper source, you wouldn't see any kind of a shadow line as much as you would if there was a light source at the bottom shooting up where the ridge is. So if I do it right and I get it glued down well enough, you probably won't even see the transition from the whatever backdrop to the blue that I have painted on the masonite. Okay, so I hope that answers the question on how I'm going to treat the backdrops on this. And that'll really help because over the years I've changed a lot of stuff on these walls. I got a lot of holes and everything, and it'll save me having to go in and patch and smooth and do all that before I paint. So I'm probably just going to go with that smooth masonite. You can get a really smooth surface to that. And if I don't like, if you can still see too much of the, well, how they compress the wood to make the masonite, even though they melt the side on it really good, they make a really good wood that is super fine that you can use for like what you use for making furniture with. And that's a lot more expensive, but if it winds up coming to that, I think you can buy it in 1/2-inch sheets, 1/2-inch thick sheets, 4x8s. So if I need to, I'll go with the fine so that it won't have any, you won't see any kind of texture on the whatever I mount it to. But that's also going to change, if I have to do that, that's also going to change how I set everything up, because right now I'm only setting things up with the idea of having 1/8 of an inch to 3/16 of an inch masonite thickness coming out from the walls. So if I have to go with more of a 1/2 inch, then I'm going to have to readjust a lot of stuff. So I'd rather go with masonite if I can. Okay, so I hope that answers the question on that, and I'm done getting off on little tangents about that, because it's just all stuff that runs around in my head how I'm going to solve these problems that I have in this room. I just wish I hadn't had this fireplace right here, because then I could have had everything go into a corner. So I'm having to build around this with the buildings that we're going to use to hide cords and everything, and we'll hide it and it'll look all right, but I would have rather have had another industry sitting right there, but that's a brick fireplace. Okay, so let's see. I think if I've covered just about everything that we have done and that we were going to do. So if you missed any of this, if you've tuned in and you missed any of this, there's some really good stuff when we were talking about this, and down below, and the A10 Warthog that's down here. I think that's about it for today. Like I said, we were supposed to be in West Bend today, but I couldn't make it to that after this week. It just the lower back was just hurting too much to sit in the car. It's not that, I mean, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours from here, but it was just a little too much to be sitting in the car today. So I was hoping to be live at that, but like I said, we will be live because we're going to stay in Milwaukee for the weekend. We will be live for sure for Train Fest. So that's one you're going to probably want to tune back in on. And I think even though we're there both days, I think we'll be live. We may do live on both. I don't think it really matters because they run different equipment on both days. So we may just keep it up on just doing it on Sunday when we start to wrap everything up from that show. When we're done with everything, and we may just go live then, because as people get kind of jovial at that time of day, they know the weekend's almost over, and I always hear guys laughing and stuff and having a good time. So maybe we'll do that, and maybe it won't be as busy before we can actually talk to the actual manufacturers. A little easier that way too, instead of just hitting them when everybody's hitting them right off the bat on Saturday. So, or we may do live both days. We haven't decided, so we may be doing that, but that's coming up first and second. Now, I really do hope that next weekend we will be doing a live build session. I would like to start finishing up some areas here. I may start gluing some track down if I can get a few things done, and I know where things are going to be for sure. We may be doing a track gluing session and things like that. So I'm really hoping but we're going to do a build of some sort, and it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be doing a build on the layout. If I get this figured out, I may be doing a demonstration next weekend live showing how to do that versus even a video. Well, we'll go to video then after that gets archived. But we may be showing how to do that kind of a painting to give you that kind of an effect. Or there's a couple of cars I need to get done where I've got to do the graffiti on them and the rusting. So I may just prop the camera up over here and just have it shooting down and do a live session of doing some of that. I don't know if you guys would be interested in seeing how I achieve this kind of weathering that I do right here, but that might be a good video for something like that. So we've got, I'll figure it out by next week. And of course, when we make our announcement, we say what we're going to do on the video itself. So I think that's where we'll probably start to wrap down for this week. I hope that you guys liked it and that you've liked this journey. And I think we're pretty good on all this. And like I said, you're going to see changes coming like crazy now. I've gotten past this hard part. So if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. Otherwise, I think we shall probably wrap up. And that way you guys can have a good rest of Sunday or day or night or wherever you're at. So if there's any other questions, if not, I think we'll cut it there. Look for some really great videos we got coming this week. There's right after this video, a little later this afternoon or early evening, I've got another one where I've got sitting up right over here. I've got 2 Automax cars that I did some fantasy paint scheme stuff to. So for Fallen Flag Roads. So if you want to see that, that'll be coming up later this afternoon, early evening. There's some other good build stuff coming, and we've got, of course, just as usual, we've got some really good runs coming. So again, thank you very much for coming along with us on this and supporting us by going and watching the videos. And please do go watch our other videos, not just the shorts, but the regular videos, because that helps an awful lot. And I do want to reiterate so that I'm going to do this every week, so you know, as of right now, we're not sponsored by anybody at all. So anything that I show you and I review, it's because that's what we use. We're not getting paid for anything on any of this. So it's just honest opinions about what we use, the materials we use. So that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend and have a good week. And then we'll probably see you next Sunday. Seemed to be a pretty good day. It's kind of a relaxing day. Everything's kind of done. We get all our stuff done on Saturday. So we'll probably do this again next Sunday. We'll try to kind of keep it in that area. So
Closet Branch says have a great rest of the evening.
Oh, well, thank you. You too. You too. Gonna maybe have to go out and do a little yard work. That's maybe not. I don't know. Too tired. We'll see. All right. Well, you guys take care, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.